Rouse's Markets is voted best grocery store in New Orleans, best grocery store in Baton Rouge, Mississippi, Gulf Coast, Thibodeau, Houma, Hammond, Lake Charles, Mobile, year after year. Thank you for choosing us best grocery store on the Gulf Coast. Number one. Thank you.
Thank you.
The number one grocery store
In Mississippi, Alabama,
Louisiana. 1 million customers a week can't be wrong. Welcome to Rouse's.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Bayou Time. I'm your host, Keith Weissite, licensed clinical social worker with Terrebonne Home Care. Very glad you're joining us, however you may be joining us. We appreciate that. Want to go over some of the elections that will take place on this coming Saturday, December 7th. And on Saturday, voters are going to head back to the polls for the state of Louisiana to vote on 4 constitutional amendments and various local measures. The first of those is Amendment 1, and the proposed change, the amendment would increase the number of people on the State Judiciary Commission and rework the way the commission operates, giving the Supreme Court more input into the investigatory process. The commission would grow from 9 to 14 members, with the addition of 2 appointees from the state House Speaker, 2 appointees from the state Senate President, and 1 appointee from the governor. The appointees would not have to be lawyers or judges. Beyond the addition of the new members, the state Supreme Court would receive new authority to direct the commission to start an investigation into allegations of improper judicial behavior. The argument for this Amendment 1, the Judiciary Commission moves too slowly to consider allegations of judicial misconduct, taking years in some instances to review complaints. The commission is too protective of the judges because it is packed with their own colleagues and the lawyers who appear before judges in court. The potential to add more non-lawyers to the commission could bring a fresh perspective and make the panel more aggressive in holding judges accountable. The Louisiana Supreme Court should have more authority over judicial ethics and discipline because the court's justices oversee the judicial system. The argument against Amendment 1 is increasing the commission size doesn't make anything more transparent or efficient and could slow down the overall process. Complaints take a long time to investigate properly, so providing the commission with more staff and resources to do the work is the way to speed up disciplinary action. Adding appointees of legislative leaders and the governor to the commission could insert improper political influence into the judicial ethics and discipline process. Giving Louisiana Supreme Court more authority to initiate investigations raises due process concerns, since the court could decide discipline after an investigation. Considering Amendment Number 2, the amendment would mandate a 48-hour waiting period before lawmakers could take a final vote on any appropriations bill and send it to the governor. Without the ability to waive that waiting period, the delay would apply to any vote in the House that would give concurrence to the Senate's version of a bill appropriating money, and to any vote in the House and Senate to approve a conference committee report for a bill appropriating money. The argument for requiring more time before lawmakers can take a final vote on bills appropriating money ensures that legislative leaders can't quickly jam bills through the process before rank and file lawmakers can review them and assess their impact. The bills finance billions of dollars in state agencies and programs, and more careful attention should be given to the final passage. The argument against is requiring a delay before lawmakers can take a final vote on bills appropriating money creates unnecessary roadblocks to passage of critical legislation that finances state agencies and programs. Amendment Number 3, the change would propose the amendment would give lawmakers the ability to add up to 6 days to a regular session if they cannot complete their work on a bill appropriating money during the original time allocated for the regular session. To extend the session would require a 2/3 vote from members and both the House and the Senate. Extensions would be allowed in 2-day increments for up to 6 days. The argument for offering lawmakers more time in a regular legislative session to make sure they understand what is contained in an appropriations bill is a wise use of state time and resources. Allowing a short, maximum 6-day extension is a better option than requiring lawmakers to restart the budget debate process in a special session. The cost associated with an extension is minor in a multi-billion-dollar budget and likely cheaper than a special session. The argument against is that lawmakers should have more than enough time to handle their work during the regular legislative session without needing extensions. The House and Senate should prioritize the financing of state government operations to ensure that they can complete the task in the time allotted, as they have done in most years across recent decades. The cost of adding extra days to the session is an unnecessary expense in a state with many needs. And finally, Amendment number 4, the amendment would rework Louisiana's process for handling property on which tax payments are delinquent, moving from a tax sale process to a tax lien auction process. The changes would take place in effect on January 1st, 2026, if adopted by voters. The argument for Louisiana's current system for handling delinquent property taxes has led to years of litigation to ensure taxpayers' rights that aren't being violated, and the 2023 U.S. Supreme Court ruling jeopardizes the entire process. The current tax sales system was enacted when Louisiana was more agricultural and hasn't smoothly transitioned to the subdivisions of today. Shifting to the tax lien auction system will better protect people who own property and give them more options to address their debts rather than to see their property sold. The argument against is rewriting the entire process for handling property tax debts is unnecessary, since years of lawsuits and court rulings have clarified many areas of the law. Protecting owner equity does not require this amendment. Louisiana has not been judged in violation of the 2023 Supreme Court ruling, so it's too soon to shift to a new system in response. And locally here in Terrebonne Parish, we have 2 millage renewals, and then in Lafourche Parish, we have 3 runoff elections for town council, and we have various things in Lafourche. And so we just want to let you know that you can go to the Secretary of State website and look up your local area, and you can find out all of the information that you can be voting on for your area. So we've got those 4 amendments to look forward to, and then there will be millages in your area, as well as some options for voting for people, town councils, and those kinds of things as well. And we thank you for paying attention to this information about some of the things that are on the ballots and in your local areas. And that'll do it for this particular segment of Bayou Time, but don't go anywhere. A whole lot more when we continue.
Today's social media segment is brought to you by South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough.